Okay, thank you very much for all that are here today. And I'm very happy to have this opportunity to share with you some thoughts about climate change and universities. I'd like to say thank you for Professor for the invitation and also for Hannah that will translate our lecture today. As you know, I am Brazilian, so my mother language is Portuguese, but I will do my best speaking in English, and I hope we can have some ideas at the end of our lecture. So to start, I'd like to bring to you some thoughts about the climate change. As Professor Juan just said, climate change is the most significant challenge of our time, and many of its effects are felt most strongly in the poorest community of the world. We are seeing that climate change has been receiving increased attention due to the more frequent extreme weather events that occur around the world. The idea of climate change refers to a change in climate if is attributed directly or indirectly to human activity that alters the composition of the global atmosphere, and which is in addition to natural climate variability observed over comparable periods of time. As we can see in this picture, we have an increasing of temperature in the last years. This is not new for us. So, of course, this temperature causes extreme weather events, and this generates a series of social, economic, and environmental problems related to impact on infrastructure, more vulnerable communities, and the creation of conditions for wildfires, for example. So, what can universities do about climate emergency? We know that the role of university is very important to deal with this problem. But we have two questions here. Universities are part of the problem or part of the solution? The uncomfortable truth is that the impact of the university is unpredictable and not always positive. Educated people are most likely to believe in and act on climate change, but there is no guarantee in this regard. There are many degree-holding climate change deniers. While university-based scientists to contribute to understand of greenhouse gases and development of renewable energy, they are also implicated in development of the science and technology that is enabling continuing exploration and use of fossil fuels. Universities also contribute significantly to emissions through their own energy, their investments, and the extensive travel of their staff and students. In summary, universities have extraordinary potential for contributing to sustainable development and addressing causes of climate change. Yet that contribution is not guaranteed and requires close understanding of the institution and its complex interactions with society. Here, I bring to you a framework proposed by Professor Tristan McCowan from University College London in his book. And he shows the stage of impact of the university regarding climate change. And his framework highlights the most common pathways through which university impact on climate change, and have four dimensions: university, bridging actors, society, and ecosphere. You see, the university is organized considering their core functions. For example, education, knowledge production, service delivery, public debate, and campus operations. So that's the point that where the university can contribute. The bridging actors are these the groups outside of the university that have or have had direct interaction with the university. Here we have the former students population, with having left in the university and gone out in the world, characterized by the graduates. And also we have the organizations, because the universities deliver services to the organizations through consultancy work, running projects, industrial collaboration, writing reports, seconding staff members, and so forth. And we have external communities who the university developed research and outreach. Here we could include business, government, and members of local community. These actors are designed as bridges, since in addition to receiving themselves, they also serve as conducts of the impacts in broad society, and then go to the society. The next stage, society. The next stage is the society as a whole. In this case, it's not a question of contact then, contact between the university and the specific person, groups or organizations. Instead, it is a more diffuse interaction of ideas, products, and influences. And that is harder to chart and attribute. So, for example, the university may develop a vaccine that is adopted for general use. And finally, we have the ecosphere. Here, the emphasis moves from human societies to the natural world, and the influence that the former has on later. For the most part, the influence is mediated by the communities that have direct contact with universities, and the knock-on impact on society. For example, via the stages 2 and 3. In some cases, there are direct impacts, for example, through campus operations, the effects of energy use, recycling, procurement policy, and so forth. It is important to point out that the impacts of this final stage are normally only observable in the long term as a part of general human influence, rather than being easily isolated in the short term. So if we look at that, we can have an idea what are the interactions between the university and also inside their activities. Now, I will bring to you some ideas just to be more clear what the university can do for climate change. First is the curricula. Technical and non-technical modules can be designed to raise awareness and develop solutions to climate change. In this case, students acquire professional knowledge relating climate change at university, applies that knowledge in the workplace, and has an influence on others. Research is carried out on the climate. University develops new products or technology for addressing climate change, taken up by government or business or civil society organizations. For example, technology and energy efficiency. Outreach. University provides a service directly to community. Community enacts environmentally friendly measures, and universities engage in advocacy, campaigning, or mobilization, influence on government policy, policy influences, society actions, and behaviors. If you see, we are thinking and giving you some examples regarding the core whole of the university. So we have also campus operations or governance. In campus operations, there are a wide possibilities. One of that is universities reduce carbon emissions. So investing in energy efficiency projects, investing in on-site renewable energy, replace older energy-intensive sites with newer, more energy efficiency building, and campaigns to energy efficiency use. Many universities around the world are publishing their carbon management plan, like this example here from the Manchester Metropolitan University, that look to get a zero carbon emission. Life on campus regarding food consumption, it is also a possibility and involve universities that can promote sustainable food consumption, including the use of local regional products. Students in residence halls can be encouraged to participate in ecological gardening activities on campus that have a positive impact on the environment and climate. And green transport. For long distances within campus, universities can encourage the use of campus shuttles for large universities, scooters, or shared bicycles to reduce carbon emissions. A fleet can consist of electric cars whose availability is increasing and whose prices are decreasing with changes station in terms of subsidies. This is not the case of Brazil. I don't know, in your country, we can discuss this more after all, but this is now is a reality in Europe. So I resolved to bring also to you and show you, like Professor Juan said to me, this year you intended to discuss a lot about climate change and the universities. I bring this publication. This publication was awarded by global university leaders. These global university leaders are formed by rectors in Europe, and this publication had the aim to discover what challenges do universities. What challenges do universities and their leaders face in addressing climate change and sustainability, and how can they best be overcome? We made a research in 7 different countries with 2 cases, 2 in-depth institutional cases showing what the universities are doing. Unfortunately, Mexico is not here in this publication, but I think you can find many good cases and benchmarkings to adapt in our context. And one of this published is free for download. And one thing that we notice analyzing all cases around the world was the difficulties that some universities have in their context to invest in climate change. And in the end of the report, we have some recommendations that are important for the universities improve their actions. The first one is ensure a diverse system of higher education with differentiated institutions able to contribute in distinct ways. If we look at the all country, establish specialized sustainability focused institutions. It means that the institution must be and develop that thinks they think she is good, because it's always dependent of the context and of the potentialities of each institution. Protect the public funding and diversification of sources of income. Promoting the interdisciplinary research and teaching for all areas together. Participate in green rankings. This is something that facilitated the university and how the university can contribute more, can improve their performance in terms of greening things or sustainability as well. Ensure environmental literacy for all students. This is very important. Independent of the area, ensure literacy, climate literacy. Involve students fully as activity participants. Create plans for carbon emissions reductions, like I said before. Provide opportunities for academic staff. Build stronger ties, local communities. Ensure synergies between sustainability action and other global challenges. Always looking abroad our context, we must look at our local demand, our local context, but also we have to look at the global challenges and promote further research on universities and sustainability. In that report, we have more details about all these recommendations that are here, like directrices, like points to looking for. So now, in the second part of my lecture, I want to show you a little bit about a project that we are developing. It is a project, a 3 years project, and the project is financed by the United Kingdom. The name is Transforming Universities for a Changing Climate, Climate U. And we have 4 countries involved in actions regarding universities and climate change: Brazil, Mozambique, Kenya, and Fiji. And the objective of our project is to support local action on climate change in these countries through a creation of participatory action research groups in universities, and also to assess existing coverage of climate change in the curricula, research, and community engagement activities of universities in the 4 countries, understanding the context, the political context in each country, and finally, contribute to theory and understanding of the impact of higher education on climate change and sustainable development. As I am in Brazil and I'm the researcher responsible for the climate U in Brazil, I will show you a little bit more details about our project in Brazil. In Brazil, we are working with 3 universities. Each country, each one of that 4 countries have 3 universities. So in totally are 12 universities working on the project. In Brazil, we have the Federal University of Pará, University of São Paulo, and University of Passo Fundo. And we choose this university because of the location. If you notice here in the map, they are in different places in Brazil, so they have different contexts and different demands. Federal University of Pará is working with collectives of territory governance. They are working with the population in Amazonia. And the focus here is the outreach. The São Paulo is the biggest university in Brazil. They are working with multidisciplinary projects, many small projects, with focus on education and climate literacy. And finally, my university, Passo Fundo, University of Passo Fundo, we have now their green office, and our focus is campus operation. Regarding the University of Pará, is very nice, very important the work they are doing, because in the context of the Amazon, they are using participatory action research with these collectives of territory governance to face the region's environmental challenges, such as the degradation of biomes and deforestation, in addition to the social impacts on local communities. There, in this region here, they have many problems of deforestation and changing their place of life. And the idea here is to empower indigenous people and quilombola people, also fishermen and small farmers, and emancipate these communities to gather the preservationist forces and strengthen them, gain recognition, and establish the dialogue between the communities and the state-owned and private companies. So they are going there and working with the community. Here we have some pictures. When we were there, they received us happy, because they are very happy with the possibility the university go there and help there to deal with all the problems they are having with the companies and other people. About the USP, like USP already have one sector very important, maybe some of you already listen about, is the INCLINE. INCLINE is Interdisciplinary Climate Investigation Center. It's a center that have a history of educational and interdisciplinary initiatives in terms of climate change, but never had a possibility to perform a participatory action research. So they are developing different projects. In total are 90 projects, and more important is that they are multidisciplinary. They have 7 different institutes involved in this project. Here we can see some of them, the list of the projects, and all them have in common to promote actions to confronting issues related to climate emergency. And the education and climate literacy are very present in these projects. Also, they are distributed among the São Paulo state. And finally, University of Passo Fundo, that is the place where we launch the Green Office, is the first one in Latin America, also in Brazil. Green Office is an office that empowers students to deal with sustainability. As you see here, we have the location of other green offices around the world, and our is here. And the idea of Green Office is train students and staff to carry out sustainability, to financial projects in particular, all focus on climate change. We also develop workshops, climate week, some other activities involving all sustainable development goals. Here we have some pictures. The team, all are students, just me here. And here, some stakeholders that we call people from society, from companies that come to us to help us working more on climate issues. And here, last year, we promote 4 different projects, because our idea is bring different peoples as much as possible. So we have one project developed in schools that students from civil engineering propose, like I say, how can I say, the use of rainwater in the school, and they built this and sent and went to the school to show the students how this works. We have also in the markets some movements about the SDGs, about the waste management. We have one project developed by architecture students, considering the scenarios for 2050, considering so the climate change in the urban development. And finally, we have a human clock. I don't know if you understand, but is a kind of clock with medical plants. We built this in the campus of the university, and people can go there and see what is the better plant for their use, and they can take and bring it to their home. So that's some ideas that what we are doing, and some examples also for you. I would like to finalize with some conclusions that I think is very important we consider. The first one is that the university engagement on sustainable development and climate change is not a luxury, it is a urgent need. These efforts are already mainstream. There are no receipts. Each institution should know where to put its focus. This is important to consider the potentialities and the context. Of course, we can see the benchmarkings, we can see what the other universities are doing, but we have evaluated what is important for us. The efforts in these areas are an added value for the staff and the students, and they raise awareness, often save money, show that you care about the issues, improve your imaging, support teaching and research, and contribute to a better world. We have here, I can also send my slides to Professor Juan, but we have here a QR code for free download of these papers. We have more than two, we have many others in the Climate EU website. They are working papers about universities and climate change, and also about participatory action research methodology. So I would like to invite you to go there and to have a look and download the papers. This is some reference that I used here, and I will finalize it. Let me see how to stop. To stop my sharing. Aqui.
Sí.
I don't get. Would you help me, Professor?
Sí, déjame intentar quitar esto.
It's not giving me the opportunity.
Oh, está bien.
Here.
Sí, creo que en la parte de...
I don't know what is happening.
Ya, sí, hoy tenemos... está.
Okay, now okay, is working, is not sharing now?
Ya, correcto. Mil gracias, Luciana, por esta, aunque sea rápida, pero muy profunda reflexión. Y yo quisiera invitar, bueno, yo tengo 2 o 3 preguntas porque es un tema que a mí me apasiona. Quienes me conocen saben que es una de mis pasiones. Pero yo quisiera invitar también a la reflexión a los colegas, si gustan, para ir calentando un poco la conversación. Formulo yo 1 o 2 preguntas, pero quisiera invitarlas a todas, a todos, a que compartan alguna reflexión, alguna preocupación, alguna idea. Yo tengo 2 preguntas y quisiera, bueno, es que veo que Oscar Castro levantó la mano. Si quieres, permíteme, digo una preguntita y ahorita le paso la pelota a Oscar. Y la primera pregunta que yo quisiera formular es, ¿cómo han hecho en Paso Fundo o en las otras universidades para hacer ver la urgencia del asunto climático ante académicos, ante estudiantes? Porque creo que todos decimos que nos preocupamos, pero una cosa es decir que nos preocupamos y otra muy diferente es pues tomar acciones concretas, y otra aún más diferente es desde mi disciplina, psicología, educación, ingeniería, administración, leyes, desde la disciplina propia, hacer cosas que se relacionen con el asunto climático. La pregunta es, ¿cómo han hecho en Paso Fundo para favorecer que académicos y estudiantes se activen desde su disciplina?
Okay, thank you, Professor. It's a challenge for us, like for your university, I think is the same. We have many individual effort, I have to say, in terms of projects, in terms of lectures. Of course, we in my university, we have the support directors that I will support, but I don't have money to help you, you know? So we have to bring money from the research, from the projects, to have possibility to real do something, you know? But I notice that nowadays, the people are much more conscious about the problem and want to discuss, especially in terms of sustainable development goals. Now, all my colleagues want to talk about this in their most of them want to talk in their lectures about sustainable development goals.
Gracias. Oscar, te pasamos el micrófono, ya estás abierto.
Gracias, ¿me escuchan?
Sí.
Sí.
Thank you, Professor Luciana, for your very interesting lecture this afternoon. I would like to ask you something. If you could I mean, we are trying to implement different actions here in ITESO, and we have been looking for specific projects that had to do with sustainability in different universities, and it's very difficult to find the complete documents. So I would like to ask you if you could recommend us links where we can find these more extensive documents which report in more detail their experiences, because that would be very, very useful for what we're doing here at ITESO. Again, thank you very much.
Thank you, Oscar. That's great. Our intention in this project, Climate U, is exactly to do this, to spread the knowledge, not the knowledge that we are building, but all we are access. So I can also send it from you some links, but I think it should be a good start to go to our website, because we have many different links, and also the United Kingdom is still looking for more universities to come to our projects to spread the actions. So if you are interested, we can also talk about this. I think it would be nice to have an university from Mexico.
Gracias. Hay una pregunta que nos plantea, déjenme les digo que no alcanzo a ver el nombre completo, Mónica Hernández, y la pregunta es la siguiente: ¿qué opinión tiene sobre la aplicación de las clínicas jurídicas ambientales para la defensa del medio ambiente y la salud de las personas dentro de las universidades? No sé si se... Clínicas jurídicas.
What is clínicas?
Además, déjame intentar...
Clínicas jurídicas.
¿Dónde está? Creo que ya está Mónica. Listo, por favor, adelante.
Hola, ¿qué tal?
Hola, Mónica.
Muchas gracias, doctora Luciana, por tan importante presentación. Sí, las clínicas jurídicas ambientales son espacios en donde los estudiantes pueden defender los derechos al medio ambiente y a la salud de las comunidades que se encuentran desprotegidas, comunidades indígenas, personas en pobreza extrema. No sé si en la Universidad de Paso Fundo estén trabajando algún proyecto de este tipo. De eso va mi pregunta.
Okay, I understood now. Okay. I don't know if you have with this name, but I know we have this kind of action in our university because one professor from there, how can I say jurídico in
Leyes.
Yeah, he wanna work with us in Green Office, because our idea in Green Office is to bring all students in different courses that are doing something regarding climate change or sustainability. So we have there, and I think it's very important. All help, all action are important, independent if you see the action is small or big, or did it by one person or all the university. So I think it's very important. Congratulations for you have this in our university.
No sé si hubiera alguna otra pregunta o comentario. Si no, yo tengo uno que quiero hacer.
I have one. I have one question. I'd like to understand what's your course? What's the knowledge of your students? The area of knowledge. The people who are here today.
Buena pregunta. Y bueno, tenemos académicos de distintos ámbitos. Bueno, ahí viene llegando arquitectura, abogado, derecho, leyes, psicología, educación, no sé quién más, colegas, si alguien quiere, por ahí, arquitectura, urbanismo.
Okay, good. Pedagogia is very important. Pedagogia, education is essential. I am from civil engineering, and I work a lot with the people from pedagogy.
Es que justo ahí, gracias, es que justo ese es el tema que quería comentar. En días pasados encontré el reporte de un proyecto de investigación que están haciendo en Noruega, lejísimo, en donde se trabajan juntos la Facultad de Psicología y la Facultad de Literatura, y lo que buscan es encontrar cuál es el mensaje que tiene más impacto en la comunidad para transmitir la idea ambiental. Y me pareció brillante, o sea, psicología, literatura, ese tipo de proyectos me parecen realmente relevantes. Y no sé si en la experiencia, Luciana, de Paso Fundo o del grupo de universidades, ¿tienen ustedes ubicados también proyectos así extraños, pero innovadores?
No, that's the idea. For example, in Climate U, we have teams from civil, from engineering, education, astrology, architecture. There are many different knowledges working in one project together. And in the university now, in my university, they are discussing a lot how to do the multidisciplinary in the projects, in research projects, outreach, and also in the teaching.
Ok. Gracias. Gracias. No está llegando nada más. Y me atrevo yo a hacer una tercera pregunta. Ya es la última que hago yo. Ya, por favor, no me dejen hablar solo. Es, ¿qué debemos hacer para evitar, o no evitar, qué debemos hacer para favorecer que haya green office, oficinas verdes en nuestras instituciones? O sea, es una buena idea, y cómo podemos llevarla hacia adelante.
Okay, green office is a movement that was born in Holland by the students. The students started, so they are a framework and directories, documents, and we have to contact them and to go in the network. There is not something isolated. It's something that they already have the structure, how this work, what we have to do, and it's very nice. And we also have all this framework translated in Portuguese because they had in English, but in the website we have it in Portuguese, in English. But we also can have it in Spanish. If you have something, if you have interest to open a green office in your university, you can contact us and we help you.
Gracias. De hecho, llegaron ahorita un mensaje por el chat de Mónica Hernández, que nos pregunta si nos puedes compartir alguna dirección de correo electrónico o algunos datos para conseguir más información sobre las oficinas verdes, los Green Office, y poder hacer algo desde México, desde Guadalajara, desde Tijuana,
Sure.
desde...
Sure. I wanna answer here. Let me see here. Mm-hmm. I don't know, use a lot. Eu não sei usar muito bem. I don't know, use it very well. The Zoom, but here I try. Green. Send an email to Green Office UPF. Will be happy to help you.
Gracias. Y hay una pregunta de Ángel Melgoza que pregunta, bueno, ahí está en inglés, lo dice: When did Climate U Initiative started? ¿Cuándo inició Climate U? ¿Y what's the biggest accomplishment you have had? ¿O cuál es como el logro más grande? ¿O de qué se sienten orgullosos de haber logrado?
Okay, thank you for the question. It's very important. We started the project 2 years ago, and we have one year more until the end. It is 3 years, the project. And I think the best result that we have until now is the number of people involved in discussing and trying to help and resolve the local problems. Because when you look at Africa, Mozambique, and Kenya, we have projects considering their context. And Fiji, other projects considering their problems. And I think this is wonderful. And in the end of the project, we will have a changing in this context, and also we will have something to say about our experience.
Ujú. Gracias. Una Jacqueline Dorantes nos dice que ella está conectada desde Veracruz, la Universidad Veracruzana. Gracias, Jacqueline, por acompañarnos. Y no sé si hubiera algún otro comentario de Ibero Tijuana, Mónica. Tijuana afortunadamente estamos en muchos ciudades de México. Y déjame, let me brag a little, déjame presumir un poco. Varias de las universidades del sistema universitario jesuita hemos estado buscando soluciones ambientales, ¿no? Y de hecho la Universidad Iberoamericana en Puebla y el ITESO en Guadalajara han logrado ya estar en los rankings de Green Universities, o no sé cómo se llama, universidades verdes, y estamos ambas universidades muy arriba, no sé cuál está arriba de la otra y no es importante, ambas están arriba, porque creo que es importante y de hecho ese es en el fondo la pregunta. Creo que es importante no solo hablar, no solo investigar, es importante que en el entorno del campus se note, porque si no se nota, se te olvida. La pregunta básicamente es, ¿qué nos pudieras recomendar para hacer muy tangible, muy evidente la acción de transformar en el medio ambiente?
In terms of campus,
Ajá.
We had some years ago, we did a research in many universities in Latin America, looking the actions that they were doing regarding the campus greening. And I saw that the first thing that the universities do is waste management. And then they go for water and energy efficiency. And then they do other things. And as the same in my university, we are now, we have a big green areas, forests and vegetation, and we have a preservation area. So we are working in these areas to valorate these areas in terms of have a teaching class there, or trilhas ecológicas, ecological trilhas.
Sí, caminos, senderos.
Caminos. Yo me gustaría hablar un poquito español, pero no sé. So, but the problem is the investment. I think is that when you look at in terms of transport, internal transport, bicycle for students, all these things we needed investment from the university. But I think that's the point. Transport, energy, water, this kind of thing, and the green space.
Gracias. Ya no encuentro más comentarios de los colegas. Pues hable ahora o calle para siempre. No, no es cierto. Puede hablar cuando quiera. No, bueno, si no hay ningún otro comentario, no queda más que agradecer de veras, Luciana, la doctora Brandli, muy fuertemente. Muchas gracias, porque nos inspira estas cosas que están haciendo desde Paso Fundo, desde Kenia, desde Fiji, etcétera, etcétera. Nos lleva a reflexionar, a ver qué más podemos hacer. La situación es difícil, el futuro es muy complejo y creo que las universidades podemos hacer cosas importantes si nos organizamos y si nos enfocamos. ¿Alguna última reflexión? ¿Un último mensaje?
I also would like to thank you all for your kind words and your questions. And I'd like to say sorry to Hannah. I know it's difficult to translate. English not so good like mine, but I hope all of you have a good time. And I also would like to reinforce my invitation to go to Climate U. And we also have webinars about climate change in the university frequently, and you are invited to come and to participate with. Thank you very much.
Muchas gracias. Ahí está. Muito obrigado.
Muito obrigado.
Gracias, Ángel, nos estás ayudando. Y no queda más que agradecer y enviar un caluroso abrazo a todos y aplauso también. Y pues muchas gracias por su participación. Muchas gracias, Luciana. Muchas gracias, colegas. Y pues aquí termina esta parte. Gracias. Muy buena tarde.